Welcome back to another video. So if you've been following my channel for a little while, most of the content is all centered around digital marketing and actionable steps that you can take to grow and scale your business through specifically paid advertising, which is what me and my agency specialize in delivering for our clients. Now, there's actually a link in the description to a full Facebook advertising course in terms of videos I've put into a playlist on YouTube. Watch those videos. It's going to really help you get up to speed. If you either have an employee in your business, you can share this with them and they can do this. Or if you're doing it hands-on yourself, I'd recommend, again, watching these videos, going through and getting your campaign set up correctly so you can start profiting on Facebook advertising. So this video is a bit of a different topic. It's not directly about digital marketing. I'm actually going to be talking about a specific challenge that me and my friend took over the last 40 days. Okay, so what was the criteria? Now, one of the things I'm really interested in outside of digital marketing is health and performance. So I really like to optimize my own health and kind of my habits because I really want to feel the best I can possibly. And I also want to be able to perform the best in terms of business. So I run a digital marketing agency. There's obviously a lot of stresses in terms of starting, growing and managing a company. And I always want to make sure that I'm able to perform the best in terms of making the highest quality decisions and being able to manage my own mood, my own emotions, and that obviously expands against all areas of my life as well. One of my friends, he's starting his own business and he suggested we do this challenge where we try and get in the best shape possible in terms of our fitness. And he was suggesting we do things specifically every single day. So you can't miss a day, you have to do the same things every day for 40 days. And I was sort of thinking, I know that's not necessarily optimal, but I did like the idea of building even more discipline. So I do like the fact that I've been able to build discipline over the years in terms of being able to work for sustained amounts of time and focus on things and just overall keep myself in check in terms of doing what I say I'm going to do. And I feel like that's a really important characteristic, both in terms of business and just life in general. So I thought, you know what, if nothing else, I'll gain a bit of discipline by doing something consistently for 40 days. Now, let me run through what we actually did and I'll run through the results. And obviously, luckily I've succeeded in it. It wasn't necessarily the easiest thing, but there are a few key habits which I'm going to really take forward and definitely some I'm going to kind of leave out going forwards as well. So let's jump into it. Okay, so the first category was diet. Now, for me personally, I've been tracking my calories for well over 2 years now. Pretty much everything I've eaten. My goal was to get heavier. Several years ago, I was kind of around like a 75 kg. I'm now up to 84. So it's really gone in the right direction while retaining pretty lean physique. So during this 40-day challenge, my calories were set at 3,000 to 3,500. Now that's because I wanted to get a little bit heavier and I was making sure that I did that gradually. So gaining the weight very slowly to make sure it was not body fat, but that was my caloric intake. So that was pretty easy. 3.5k calories per day is pretty easy to feel full and to feel happy on. That part was totally fine. The second part was 200 plus grams of protein per day. Luckily, I managed to do it. I think the lowest day was 210 and the highest day was something like 250 grams of protein per day. So yeah, overall managed to succeed with that. And the diet piece really wasn't the hardest of this. It was just about being consistent. Now, a couple of other diet pieces we added in. One was no junk food. That was not too hard. Now, I would kind of self-medicate with like cookies, for example. So if I was feeling a bit stressed about something, maybe something at work or my personal life, I would sometimes just go to like the nearby shop, grab some cookies and eat them while I was doing additional work or while I was trying to deal with some sort of problem. So I definitely kind of use it as a bit of a escape, kind of similar to how people use alcohol and how I also use alcohol. Obviously, as a sort of diet model, I think it's by and large pretty healthy to not have too much in terms of just junk food. So I'm definitely gonna keep that in, but just have it in moderation basically. So I'm not too extreme with it and you can't ever have a birthday cake or something. I feel like that's a little bit silly. So, and the final piece of diet was no alcohol. Now this is by far the biggest takeaway from the entire challenge for me and something I'm even considering doing going forwards is just not drinking again. The point is I was able to completely eradicate alcohol. I didn't have any drinks during that time frame and I actually went out and socialized a lot during this time as well. So before I would use alcohol, both to kind of, again, self-medicate if I was feeling stressed or there was like some type of, issue in my life, I would, have a few glasses of wine, have some gin and tonics, whatever, and that would definitely help kind of buffer that. I would also use it a ton in social situations. So if I was going on a night out with my friends, I would get pretty drunk, to be fair, and I would use alcohol a lot as a sort of buffer for that and as a sort of crutch for having fun and interacting and chatting to people. So I was really pleased that I was able to completely eradicate that and still go out and have fun. Now, the first few nights where I did this, I was completely like in my head and just not really having a great time. After a while, I basically just worked out how to have fun while not needing to drink. Now, I'm not a massive party guy, I'm going to go out all the time, but when I do go out, it's nice to, again, be sober and still be able to have the same level of fun and not actually need alcohol to have fun. So I have gone out a few times completely sober and I've actually had some of the best nights that I've had I'd highly recommend you try this if you haven't. Like, just give it a go for a sustained period of time. Still do all the same things, still go out, still be social, but just learn to do it without alcohol. Like, for me, that's personally been the biggest takeaway, and something I wouldn't have tried if I hadn't kind of been talked into doing this challenge by my friends. So yeah, I'm really pleased about that. Cool. So the other parts of the challenge were quite simple. So going to the gym every single day. I was already going 3-4 times a week, so every day was fine. Obviously, some days I would have a bit of a heavier gym session. Other days I'd take things a little bit easier. Going forward, I'm definitely not going to be going every day. There's no need to. I don't think it's the optimal training regime. I'm definitely going to have rest days. Sometimes I felt like I was there just for the sake of it, just to complete the challenge. However, I did always push, and I did get some pretty hefty PBs by comparison to my previous weight. So I was already felt like I was pushing myself quite hard before I started the challenge, and then afterwards, I have seen some very significant uplifts in terms of strength. The other parts in the kind of health category were morning walks and afternoon walks. So this helps with things like your circadian rhythm. It helps with, again, so sleep, things like that. Also, it's just generally healthy to go outside. And yeah, my job is something where I'm inside all the time. I'm working on the computer. So it's good to go out and make sure that I walk both in the morning and the afternoon. So that was, again, something really simple, but just something that we added into the challenge. So there's a couple other final parts of the challenge. So one was to read 5 pages of a book per day. Now, it couldn't be a storybook. It had to be like a business related book, something that's going to actually help me progress in my career or something of that nature. I started off by reading the $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozy, who I'd started listening to as an audiobook. And then I actually read the entire book from start to finish, which again was really valuable. And I've then just started, I'm kind of midway through another book, which I'm a really good fan of. So that was definitely a piece that I really liked. And then the final 2 things. One was a cold shower every morning, so 30 seconds in the cold shower. This has been linked to increases in dopamine released throughout the day. So I did enjoy it. Again, it's quite hard, like when you first get started and you have a cold shower, it's not like the most enjoyable by any means, but there are a lot of benefits to it. I've noticed that I haven't got ill despite sometimes having very little sleep throughout this challenge, obviously going to the gym loads and working out loads and stuff. So I'm quite surprised that I didn't get ill. And I think a contributing factor could be, again, having regular cold showers. Now, I'm not an expert in this, but it's just something that I noticed, so it's a little bit more anecdotal. And the final piece is YouTube videos. So I set myself a challenge to either film a video or plan around YouTube, because this is a new area for me and it's something I really wanted to grow and expand on, and film more videos and grow the subscriber base and be consistent with it. I know it's something that's not going to take 5 minutes, it's going to take a good while, but I want to be really consistent and put some effort into that. So I also said I had to film at least 8 videos throughout the challenge. I think I filmed like 10 or 12 or something. So today this counts as my final video. I think it takes like 12, 13 videos or something total. So yeah, that's the challenge. That's why I didn't want to share it, because it was something that I've kind of done, and I've been talking to my friends about it and stuff. So hopefully this is something that at least some people find valuable and interesting. The next video will be back to some more digital marketing, hands-on actionable steps you can take. Like I say, I run an agency. If you're interested to learn more about how we can help grow your brand, click the link in the description, book a call with me and we'll go from there. Look, thanks a lot. Appreciate you being a subscriber. Speak soon.